Con Survival Guide. Each week, we give you the tips and hacks you need to get the most out of your con. Save money at cons to spend more at cons. Now here's your hosts, Gary and Taylor. Hey guys, welcome back to Dragon Con Survival Guide, episode Nobody Cares! Because it's Dragon Con 2021, finally.
I think it's episode 300, Gary. For the 35th anniversary of Dragon Con.
Yes, we've done 3,500 edosodes of this podcast to match with the 35 years of Dragon Con. And if you're looking, by the way, for those other 3,470-ish episodes, don't worry about it. They're out there. Just search on the internet somewhere. You'll find them. They're there. Anyways, we haven't done one of these in a little while. We kind of just did a bunch of stuff leading up to last year's Virtual Con and never really came back. What's been going on with you, Taylor?
I left the beautiful island of Maui and moved to California because I got a grown-up job that used my degree. And then just recently, since COVID's getting bad again, we've decided to become digital nomads. Put all my stuff in a storage locker, and Melissa and I are in Palm Springs. It was 113 degrees today.
Whew.
I am in a beautiful month-long Airbnb that's on the lagoon that came with RC boats. So I'm getting my remote control boat on.
That's pretty cool.
Stifling heat.
That's a pretty cool
it's
little
just
perk.
Like Dragon Con.
Yeah, right? Dragon Con with RC boats.
Speaking of, I was looking at their Instagram page, and they had a big, official photo of a bunch of people with their RC drones, or not drones, droids from Star Wars. There was BB-8 and R2-D2 and all those other random-ass ones, and then the little garbage drone that Darth Vader scares and then runs away scared.
Did they have the little one that actually started talking in the last Star Wars movie that I forget what they called it?
I think so.
That little trash droid looking thing. I forget what they called it. I don't remember. It was funny in the movie, I think, but yeah, that's all I remember. Well, that's really cool. I guess we should just then get on to it with a little bit of Dragon Con news. There's only one thing I can input into this, and that's probably the most recent piece of all the things you found. So, what did you find out on the interwebs today about Dragon Con since we last left?
Yeah, so since I spent 7 hours driving to Palm Springs last night and went over this amazing thing called the Grapevine, which is a twisty Dr. Seussical road, I haven't actually been able to get into the Dragon Con streaming app yet. So I had to catch up on all my news this morning. I found out through the excellent YouTube video that the lines for getting their tickets are as long as ever. You need a vaccination or a recent negative COVID test, but that doesn't seem to be deferring anyone. Dragon Con Wrestling went off without a hitch, and while the con seems to be a little less populated than what I've seen before, there still seems to be plenty of people. There's been some excellent Instagram shots of cosplayers. One guy was cosplaying the Evergreen, the one that got stuck in the Panama Canal, and him and his friends trying to get him through a door sideways. And they couldn't fit through it, and someone wrote, "This isn't the cosplay we wanted, but it's the cosplay we needed."
That's pretty great.
So I was very happy with that, and Dragon Con Wrestling looked awesome as ever, so it seems like they kicked off Thursday night without a hitch. And from what I can tell, people are still partying tonight, albeit safely, thankfully. And they seem to have quite a few COVID protocols in place. So I'm going to be happy to catch up with a lot of stuff through their streaming app tomorrow, which works on Roku still, I believe. So I'm very excited about that.
Actually, as far as I know, they took it off Roku. I did see...
Fuck you, Gary.
Thank you. I love you too, bro. There was something, I want to say it was an article, but it might have been a video I saw, where they talked about how the Dragon Con TV app, they put it out last year because it was important, because it was all virtual, to try to get out to as many people as possible, and really try to get it out to the Dragon Con family as much as they could. There's something different with the way it is to update and upkeep and stuff that... And maybe it's something to do with the contract, I don't really know. But for whatever reason, they weren't pursuing Roku this year as heavily, because I guess that was really hard on them. And especially with actually having a live in-person con, I guess it was very demanding, was part of it too. But anyways, for whatever multitude of reasons, it seems like it's probably not on Roku. You can still do it online, through the website, and I think there's a couple other different ways to do it, but the main way I think is still the website. But yeah, I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's not on Roku. And if it is, it's probably just going to be like kind of storage content of videos, not like a live streaming kind of thing.
Well, I didn't delete the app last year, so it was still on my Roku, and I got really excited, but thanks for ruining it for me.
Well, hey, try it out, man. I'll try it out on mine too. I don't know if it'll still work. But yeah, as far as I know, that's a no-go for this year. Moving on from things that are kind of sad, from what you'd seen, even just from reactions and stuff they've posted on their own accounts and whatnot, they've definitely taken the protocols really seriously, which we knew they would if they did an in-person con this year. The biggest example I saw of that, because I didn't get to watch any of the wrestling videos or anything else, was the Con Suite video they just put out tonight, which, we always love talking about the Con Suite. But it was really cool to me to know that they're actually, I think they said something in the video that they're actually shutting down the panel rooms a couple times a day to just fully clean and sanitize everything. And they're doing the same thing with the Con Suite, where it's actually scheduled like for 1 hour in kind of slower periods in the middle of the day, like maybe, I don't even know, but 10 and 4, ish. They kind of close down for an hour and literally just scrub down everything. And they showed like they have this closet just completely filled with huge jugs of sanitizer and like all the different they got sweet jugs, man. I didn't realize that they were going that in depth. I knew they kind of would, and I knew, or at least assumed, because I think I had heard that between each panel they're shutting down and sanitizing everything. Like with the con itself, the Con Suite is actually making a point to shut down for a couple hours a day just to literally deep clean everything. Wipe down every surface, every chair, really good, get all the dishes clean and everything, and the cups or whatever. I'm sure they're using disposable cups, but you know what I'm saying. They really just clean everything and go to town on it, and that's really cool to see them taking it seriously and being really responsible about it.
Yeah, it's awesome. That's probably also why they were able to get some huge names this year. I know that they have William Shatner and a bunch of other great people. I've been following their Instagram, and I was surprised with how many big names they've got, especially since a lot of other cons actually got pushed back. Silicon, which is Adam Savage's from Mythbusters and also like an Industrial Lights and Magic guy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably everyone on Earth knows who he is.
Yeah.
He throws the con every year, and it's the same weekend as Dragon Con, or maybe it was last weekend. Either way, there's competition, so I'm glad to see that they're still doing well, and that they're being safe about it, and that people are still going, and that they still have badass stars. Because it's not like that guy that was an extra in Battlestar Galactica in one episode.
Yeah, definitely.
William Shatner.
Right? I mean, legends and stuff, which is really cool, because even a lot of the cons down here in Florida, even some of the really big ticket ones that are some of the bigger ones, on the East Coast and stuff, they just, like, half their people cancel if they even try to do an in-person con. And a lot of them lost a lot of their bigger names that were going to be their big draws. But Dragon Con, I mean, they did lose some people, especially with the Delta variant and all these things going on. Some people did cancel, but really the majority of them stuck it through. And there's cancellations every year. So I haven't really gone through the list, but I feel like it's a kind of standard level of cancellations, if not less.
It hasn't seemed like anything too crazy so far. And, I fully understand if they're worried about the Delta variant, because that's kind of ravaging the world right now. But some highlights from people that have come and are still going to be there. Jamie Bamber from Battlestar Galactica. James Callis. The girl from Land of the Lost. Not the one in the 90s, the one in, like, the 60s. Which was also remade by the great Will Ferrell. Felicia Day's there. Let's see who else. Some guy, Wesley Ure from Days of Our Lives. Ooh, and Land of the Lost. Apparently they're having Land of the Lost battles, which is great. I love that show.
Yeah.
Harvey Gillen, the guy who's the descendant of Van Helsing in What We Do in the Shadows. Bunch of Battlestar Galactica people. I love that they always get that, like, whole squad every year.
Almost every year, yeah, all of them go. It's crazy.
Zachary Levi, a.k.a. Shazam and Chuck.
He's so cool.
He is cool.
Man.
Idiot. And then a bunch of people you've probably never heard of. Eddie McClintock from Warehouse 13. I think the Bob Dignaghi and Bard's guys are there.
And I think I saw Voltaire went.
Their shows. Yeah, a lot of the big bands actually came back this year too, which I think is really awesome.
From what I saw, I mean, they did, like you said, get some big names, but almost all of the Dragon Con mainstays went. You know, a lot of those people that, like you said, a lot of people, most people don't know and whatever, because there is a lot of kind of smaller names on the list. For those of us that have gone to Dragon Con a bunch of years, like, I remember from even just you and me, like, on your train ride and my bus ride up to Dragon Con that first year, going over that printed paper, pocket kit, and like all the different names, like a lot of those names go every year. Like I remember Kevin Anderson, literally just because his name is one of the first names on the list, and he goes every year. I believe he's an author. There's so many of those names that I only know literally just because of the Dragon Con thing, the programming, but I don't know what they do. I might know what they do, but I have no idea, the scope of their work or anything. Like I know they're who they are because of Dragon Con, and that's kind of funny.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of them love it because it's like not like other cons, and it's a huge, so they get to meet a lot of their fans, and I think it's awesome that they come every year. Like the Battlestar Galactica guys are there every year, which is awesome because a lot of them are actually very successful actors. And one guy that's in everything that they did like the 6 Degrees of, he's in Doom Patrol now, so he's now connected to Brendan Fraser. Well done.
Who is he in Doom Patrol?
He's the douchey magician or wizard.
Oh, I don't think I really know.
He's a douche.
I was wondering if he was one of the main people.
Mark Shepard.
Oh, Mark Shepard?
He's in everything.
Yeah, he's in Supernatural, he's in Firefly, he's in, like, pretty much anything nerdy you can think of. He's at least cameoed in it. Doctor Who. Several episodes of Doctor Who.
He's actually great in real life, but he always plays a slightly douchey guy. He played the King of Hell in Supernatural.
Yeah.
Probably, right?
Yeah, he's always like a smarmy villain type dude, or like a shady guy. That like always like a blah blah blah, like a shady type dude that's gonna like betray you. Kind of like a typical kind of backstabbing thief kind of dude.
One of my favorite things is that all of these character names and all these shows he's been in have these fantastical names. Like in Doom Patrol, his name's Willoughby Kipling. In MacGyver, his name is Fake Dr. Zito. In Supernatural, obviously, he's Crowley, the King of Hell. In Rare House 13, he's Benedict Valda. And then we got some other things like Manservant Neville.
What was that from? I remember that. Manservant Neville.
The Middleman?
Oh, right! Oh my god, dude, that show was so good. Did you ever see that thing?
No.
It was on ABC Family. It lasted one season. It had basically nobody you would know in it. A couple kind of recognizable people, but it was just based on this, like, random, like, goofy comic book. Like, a really quirky kind of comic book about this, this dude who's, like, a by-the-book kind of cop, like, almost like a Mountie, but he wears, like, a kind of police uniform, and his plucky sidekick that go about hunting, like, urban legends and aliens and stuff. But it's, like, a very, like, comedy kind of show. Manservant Neville, man, that takes me back. It's one of those shows that, like, kind of maybe had a cult following, but just never really hit it big, so most people just forgot about it, because now it's, like, 10 years old or something. Man, what a fun little show that was. Anyways.
They had a panel at Comic-Con in 2009, according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, they really pushed it hard. And I mean, the comic had a following. I have no idea how big, but it lasted a good long run. Shoot, I don't even know how long, but it had a good run. And then eventually they developed this show, and it was really funny and cool, but it was just kind of maybe a little too high concept for ABC Family to really get an audience or whatever, and I don't know. But it was really cool. If it's on streaming anywhere, I recommend checking it out.
In other fun news regarding streaming, Beyond Belief Factor Fiction is on Peacock Plus, and I'm going to watch all of it.
I hope it's on the free version, because I think I actually downgraded from my Plus, because I paid for the whole year, and it was like $200 to get Paramount Plus with no ads for a whole year. So yeah, I didn't renew it.
Great story, Gary.
Hey, man. Listen, I know I'm an idiot, okay?
I told you about my remote control boats.
Well, hey, you got them. You got 2 of them to use for free, so that's pretty cool.
Well, the cool news is, if you see this thing that I've sent you, DragonCon TV is back. It's $10 again, but that's totally okay because
Mm-hmm.
it supports DragonCon.
Totally.
And they're going to have all the panels, everything, kind of similar to how they did virtual DragonCon last year, but obviously not virtual because they'll be filming stuff. And I, for one, cannot wait to see William Shatner tell that one guy to sit down again because he'll talk when he feels like it.
That was so great. He's like, no, I don't need a moderator.
Or a table or anything. He
Yeah.
just walked around and he picked random people in the audience who didn't even have their hands raised to ask questions.
Yeah, he was great, man. Oh man, and that was such a random like. It's Sunday morning. We don't know what to
It
do.
was Monday, actually.
Oh, it was Monday. That's right. It was right before we were about to leave.
William Shatner is the only reason several thousand people stayed until Monday.
Yeah, and we all did. That room was packed. The next year we tried. Oh, that's right. We couldn't get in. We watched it on the TV, right?
Yeah, we showed up at like 5 a.m. thinking, oh man, we're going to be idiots and standing in line for 3 hours. When we got there, they're like, yeah, no more people in the room. And I was like,
Yeah.
it's 5 a.m. He doesn't go on till like 9.
So we went back and had a nice little nap, went down to the concierge level, got a free breakfast, came back up and got to watch it on the TV.
Still one of my favorite panels ever.
That was great. It really was great. I mean, just literally telling the guy to sit down and all that. And such a legend. Like, dude was 70-something at the time, and he's just, like, strolling around casually, just, like, picking out random people, sharp as a tack. Like, that was so fun to
He was
watch.
wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah, he
It
was.
90 degrees outside. with
Wearing a leather
jacket.
jacket in Atlanta as a 70-year-old dude. But he pulled it off, man. Anyways,
He did.
was there anything else on your news section?
No.
All right. You know, DragonCon is in session when this episode is dropping, so we just wanted to go over what to do when you're kind of running low on funds. Maybe it's Saturday night, maybe it's Sunday, maybe it's even Monday, and you just still got time, and you're wondering what to do, how to make the best of your experience. So, Taylor, I guess we'll start with you, man, because you're like the sage of all wisdom with a lot of these things. What do you think is the best use of your time and limited funds as DragonCon starts winding down for you?
Sunday is still a pretty big day. Before, obviously used to not be quite as big. And Monday was kind of a joke day, and apparently Monday is big now too. On Sunday morning, after you find you've exhausted most of your funds on raves and random back alley dealings, all sorts of merchandise and people watching and all the other fun things, and the aquarium thing, which I heard sold out again this year, which
Wow.
I'm very happy with.
Same.
You find yourself with less money. Well, obviously the con suite, as we mentioned before, is a great place to get some dope cheer wine and breakfast.
It's a great resource for sure, especially when you're low on funds.
And dinner. But
Dinner
Sunday actually
and cocktails.
Yeah, Sunday actually was my favorite day to go see panels because A, you get to see celebrities hungover. B, going to panels is free because that's why you paid to go to DragonCon anyways, right?
True.
And C, my very favorite thing to do with Gary on Sundays is go to, well, I'm not sure what it looks like this year, but the arcade section
Yeah.
in the America's Mart 2. And I played Initial D or Tokyo Drift or some sort of drifting game. But all of them are free, which is one of the coolest things. A lot of them are in Japanese, which is even better because I love the zany games that are JDM, if you will. I think Gary played one where he shot musical notes that we may have mentioned on the podcast before, but all of these are really great ways to enjoy all the perks of your pass without spending really too much money. Sunday is also a day where we like to go off campus and maybe get a pizza or something else in places where the prices aren't quite as inflated as they might be at the $10 pizza stands.
Yeah.
Personal pizzas. It's
Yeah.
probably 20 now, honestly. Sunday is also a great day to give blood, give back to the community, and get a free dope shirt. You actually get something for free instead of giving money for something.
Definitely.
And I think they usually give you a cookie.
Yeah, you get like a cookie, maybe a snack, or a little apple juice, a little appy juice. They do cool stuff like that. Do you have
Sunday
any other?
night still has some awesome parties, so not that I would ever recommend it, but Sunday can be the night of flasking at these amazing parties because remember there's ones on Sunday, I think was the last party on Alderaan, and there was one bar in the very back, and I think they had run out of everything besides like Bud Ice by the time we got there. So
Sounds about right.
do yourself a favor and don't drink Bud Ice.
I totally agree with all of that. Was there any other tips you had? Taylor?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what else goes on Sunday. Sunday things, obviously.
Well, I think what it comes down to is kind of what the whole basis of what I would say would be was basically all the stuff you said, because that's usually the way it plays out for us. The first couple days, you make sure to get those autographs and meet the celebrities you want to. You look for the things you really want, and if you have to, make sure to snatch them up before anyone else buys them from the merchandise area, all the different booths. And aside from that, maybe you'll spend a little extra money getting your booze supplies for yourself, or going out and getting a few extra drinks with your dinner because it's the first day of Dragon Con, or, whatever. You'll spend a little more money in the beginning. And then by the end, usually we're running a little low and we don't want to spend as much because we got most of the stuff we wanted. So then it's more just like the chill, going to panels, people watching, hanging out, and the stuff that doesn't really cost as much money. The arcade, which we love. All that type of stuff. But there is something to also be said for doing things differently than me and Taylor do, if you're that type of person, and saving most of your money for Sunday. If you go to the merchandise place on Sunday, you get the best deals. If it's not something that's like highly sought after and snatched up right away. Taylor, I think you've seen it too, our friend Sterling, with his haggling on Sundays.
Yeah, I tried to haggle once on Sunday, and I'm famously bad at haggling. I like set prices and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Same.
I remember asking a guy on Sunday, like, "Oh, can you work with me on the price at all?" He's like, "No." And I was like, "Great." Good talk.
Well, Sterling will do the move where he'll be like, that's $25, but I only have a $20 bill on me. Can you take that? And the guy will say no, and he'll be like, well, actually, I think I have a couple singles. Could you do 22? And like try to work with them that way. And usually by that point, they're like, okay, I see what you're doing, and fine, sure, I'll take a few dollars less, or $10 less, even if it's a big ticket item or something. But I don't really haggle myself. I don't necessarily suggest haggling. It's part of the community, and it's usually pretty well appreciated, and understood to be a thing. It's not for me necessarily. Just in general, I mean, if you wait till Sunday to go shopping, the crowds aren't going to be as big. You get what you get, and some of them will even be offering better deals, or you can get a better deal on something just by asking.
Yeah. I bought artwork on a Sunday once from
True.
Nathan Zazerdi, one of my favorite artists, and I think he just kept offering me better prices, so I ended up buying like 10 things from him.
Yeah, they do that too, especially the artists, because like they're just like, I'm gonna go home tomorrow anyway, so might as well just sell a bunch of these prints for a little bit cheaper,
Yeah, so sometimes they'll do the haggling for you.
Also, like, there is something to be said if you want to be smart with your money and stuff, that like if you save it to the end, then you could have like one big kind of blowout dinner, or like, really go ham on the bars that last day. Whereas me and Taylor are like, okay, we're getting one rum bucket apiece, and we're just gonna sit here and people watch for 2 hours because that's all the money we have for one rum bucket. And that happens sometimes. It's more just about.
Or you can save it all in singles and get one of those like making it rain guns and just go from the second floor of the Hyatt and shoot dollar bills.
I mean, that would be pretty fun. Even if like the sharks got into it from Katy Perry video, like that was pretty great. It was right around there too, where actually was where he saw them. Yeah, that's kind of basically what I would recommend too. So I'm glad you basically went through the whole gamut, Taylor, of anything I could think of to do on a Sunday, including Sunday things, which I don't know if I would have thought of that one, but definitely Sunday things are a thing to do on Sunday at DragonCon. 100%. Also, ice cream Sundays, that could work too.
Room parties are a big thing on Sundays too, and
Yes.
a lot of the smaller tracks will have smaller parties in smaller rooms. I remember we got Jello shots with Sterling at one of them on a Sunday too. And Sunday's the day to catch up on everything you've been missing.
True.
So Sundays can still be pretty awesome, and they're less depressing than before because now that Mondays are a thing, Sundays is no longer sadness day filled with sadness.
Because as we've said before, the panels, what they usually do on DragonCon, which is really cool, they'll do similar panels each day for the big popular items. So like, if they're doing an MCU panel with one of the stars, if they're there all weekend, they're going to be there every day they're there at the con doing a panel. So if you miss them Friday, you have a chance to catch them Saturday or Sunday, if they're there all weekend, obviously. when it's Sunday and you're maybe a little tired, maybe a little hungover, maybe still a little drunk or whatever from the night before, panels are really nice to just chill in. You just get to sit in a comfy room that's air conditioned, listen to someone you like or think is cool, or even just has a good talking voice, and doze off for a little while. You have your canteen there if you need a little hair of the dog, or an energy drink if you're trying to be responsible. And
You can just feed off the sadness of your fellow congoers.
pretty much. As they're all getting, ready to leave and getting bummed out, you can be like, I'm still partying, bro. I don't know what you're having. I'm having a great time. Because, Sundays are for enjoying too. Even Mondays. Mondays are for enjoying too. If you're in Atlanta on Tuesday, yeah, YOLO. It's all good stuff. So just get the most out of what it is you want from the con. And from Taylor and both of us, I think we can say, kind of like you said, Taylor, you said it perfectly. Use it as a catch-up day. If you didn't get to go shopping, check it out Sunday. You didn't get to go to many panels, you want to check out panels? Go to them Sunday. You didn't get to have fun shooting hot dogs and music symbols at each other in Japanese video games? Go do that on Sunday. It's kind of a good catch-all kind of day. Not as dirty
as it sounds.
I guess it does kind of sound bad, huh? Shooting hot dogs at your music symbols, title of Taylor's sex tape.
Oh boy.
Kind of sounds like a Japanese translation of a sex tape too, like a title, like shooting hot dog at I did an accent too. That's really bad. I'm just gonna stop.
Yeah. Canceled.
Wow. Instantly canceled before the podcast even released. It hasn't even been edited yet, and I'm canceled because it was that bad. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I'm not even gonna lie. Anyways, I guess, Taylor, do you have anything else to add before we wrap up our getting the most out of the last year Dragon Con segment?
Yes. Although it's not something that I personally do, if you're into autographs or pictures with celebrities, or like the Hall of Fame, I think they call it.
Yep.
Sundays can also be a good day to do that, since you've already gotten your partying and wrestling and everything in on Thursday through Saturday. I think we had Stephen Amell sign some of your stuff, because a lot of the bigger names too will do a lot more of their signings and appearances on Sunday, since they have panels and appearances for the big ones on Friday and Saturday. So that can be a really great time to catch up on any pictures you want to take, or lifting people if you're Sterling.
True.
So strong.
Although I do want to add one addendum, just in case this is a new listener or someone who hasn't yet before heard the story of my Stephen Amell signing experience, which I think we've talked about a few times on the show. But even though it was Sunday, and you think, oh, it's Sunday, it's going to be one of the slower days of the con, I don't have to rush and get there early. If it's one of the main headliners, so to speak, of the con, you want to make sure to get there pretty early. Because we got there early. I forget how early, but we got there, I would say, at least an hour early, right?
Oh, more than that, I think.
Oh, yeah, because it was like 2 hours early, because they gave us tickets, and then we came back, and we went and had lunch. Anyways, yeah, so if it's a big person, especially like, I don't know how you would research this in advance. I guess you could kind of look around or check it out. Maybe the app would tell you the location of the signing. But if they're not in the Hall of Fame, if they have their own dedicated room and specific posted signing times, make sure to get there as early as you possibly can, or have a friend wait for you in line or something if you can't be there right away. Because we got there really early. They ended up cutting the line at a certain point because they said this is about as much as Steven can handle in the time we got to give him. They literally gave us out tickets and told us to come back in an hour or an hour and a half, whatever it was. So we walked over to, what's that place called?
Mellow Mushroom.
Right, Mellow Mushroom. I knew it was a pizza place, but I forgot the name. Mellow Mushroom. And we had a nice little lunch. We walked back, and then we still had to wait in line. But what was really cool is Steven's like an absolute gent, gave everybody a good minute of his time and like an actual like moment to talk to him, kind of. I don't know how to describe it, but it didn't seem like you were just being funneled through a line, even though you were definitely being funneled through a line. But yeah, that's the one thing I would like to add there, just to say, if they're a big star, or even if they're in the Walk of Fame and you know they're probably one of the bigger draws, If you've walked through the Hall of Fame and seen they usually have the biggest line, make sure to get there early, even though it's Sunday. Because Sunday can give you a leg up, but you still don't want to take it for granted and completely lose your chance because you're showing up there half an hour beforehand and the line's already cut and you're just out of luck. Because then they'll be gone and you won't have another chance to get them to sign or take a picture or whatever it may be.
And then Taylor will feed off of your sadness.
Taylor's really good at that, man. I mean, how do you think he keeps those rock hard abs? He feeds off of your sadness. He doesn't need nutrients or exercise. He just feeds off of your sadness. That's all it is.
Just sadness.
Swallow sadness.
So speaking of,
eat a bagel.
Robbie Amell is... It's not for the podcast, for Gary's personal listing.
Oh, what's that?
They're remaking the Resident Evil movies, apparently. And they're coming out in November, and there's not even a trailer for them in September. And Robbie Amell's going to play Chris Redfield.
Really?
Which, he actually looks good for. Chris Redfield is famous for being really skinny in the first 4 or 5 games.
Mm-hmm.
Or 4 games, and then just becoming a jacked musclehead in Resident Evil 5, where he's famous for punching a boulder into lava.
What? What?
So that Robbie Amell's gonna be in it, and like he had something else nerdy that I was gonna tell you about, Gary, and I totally forgot. I've brought shame to my dojo. I've been watching a lot of pitch meetings lately, and those are incredible.
Yeah,
Melissa and I love them. And we watched Smokey and the Bandit the other night, and we really wish there was a pitch meeting for Smokey and the Bandit because Burt Reynolds is amazing. The movie is also amazing, even though some parts of it are outdated and misogynistic. It's really fun to watch a Trans Am jump a bridge and stuff.
You'd think it would be really easy to make one, too. Barely even an inconvenience. I stumbled through saying it. God damn it.
Okay, just re-say it now, Gary.
Okay, you're right. And it'd probably be really easy to make one of those videos for that, too. Barely even an inconvenience.
Yep.
Thanks.
I can't believe we made 3,500 of these so far.
Yeah, I mean, we're like 1,800 years old, so I mean, I guess eventually, you get up to a bunch. But yeah, those pitch meeting videos are so good.
And the 10 Rings is coming out.
Yeah, it is.
Shang-Chi? I don't know. Basically, they're undoing the horribleness of Trevor Slattery in Iron Man 3. And it looks like it's dope. Aquafina's in it. And the Dune movie is coming out soon. Do you remember the original Dune movie had that one guy in it, Kyle something, who was also the main character in Twin Peaks? Super nerdy news. Going down a rabbit hole of nerdiness here.
Wow, you really are. The Dune movie looks pretty cool. I don't know much about Dune, but the trailers look really cool.
I read one of the books, and it took me forever because it was like 800 pages. And then there was like 14 or 15 more books.
Yeah, pretty much. That sounds about right. And I believe, by the way, I understand. I believe, by the way, Kevin Feige has come out and said it's pronounced Shang-Chi is the pronunciation they're going with. I only know that because I follow movie news and stuff. But yeah, Shang-Chi, from what I hear, it's really great. People are saying, and not just people, like most of the critics are saying, like top 5, top 10 Marvel movie. So I'm excited. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, me too. I think it's really cool too that I think he's the first Asian American lead superhero too, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's true. That's awesome. I didn't really think of that, but yeah, definitely. So with that,
and Aquafina's in it.
Idiot.
He's nowhere from Queens.
So, if you were in Queens, like Nora from Queens, and you were walking up to a street ute, and you were trying to procure a little of the devil's lettuce, what might you ask this person for?
Nope.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of DragonCon Survival Guide. Find us on Facebook, facebook.com/DragonCon Survival Guide, on the Twitter @CrunkedUpReview, or on Instagram @DragonCon_Survival_Guide. Shoot us an email anytime at DragonConSurvivalGuide@gmail.com, or just scream to the DragonCon gods in the middle of downtown Atlanta at 2 a.m. Intro music and bumpers are provided by royalty-free music websites. Outro is Beautiful End by Jacob Spangler, friend of the podcast. Until next time. This has been a Top Wop Studios production.